What is going on, everyone?
What
Thank you so much for joining us today. We have two very special guests with us, Marques and Shyra. They've been able to do some amazing things with their own finances. They paid over 6 figures worth of debt off in under 2.5 years. That's amazing, right?
Yeah, they are super financially savvy. They have their own podcast, the Black Married and Debt Free podcast, as well as here on YouTube, you can get a ton of tips about just how to get in a better place financially, become financially free with multiple streams of income. So welcome, Shyra and Marques. How are you guys doing today?
We are doing good, Harvey family. Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
And we're so happy to have you guys. They're also student of ours. You guys are constant learners within life. You know, we resonated. We've been on your podcast a couple of times, and we just enjoy the fact that we can call you guys our friends first. So it's an honor to have you guys both on the show.
Definitely.
Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So today, so somebody said there's an echo, so hopefully we can kind of manage that. Let us know in the comments if you guys are still hearing the echo out there. We'll make sure to take care of it. But today we're going to talk about 5 financial tips that you guys have, especially for somebody just getting started in their investing career, specifically mobile home investing, because that's what we teach on this channel. And so we wanted to just pick your brain and see, how this relates to, somebody said, please restart. We may need to restart the broadcast if it's really, really bad on the echo side. Okay. Give us just 1 minute.
Cool.
What's going on? No echo. Okay, we're good.
We're back.
Make sure we're good, guys.
It might just be bad in the beginning. So we're going to go into just, those tips, share with our audience and share with the people that are just getting started some different strategies and things to look out for as they're starting their investing career.
And we appreciate you guys joining us live. This is your first time on the channel. Be sure to do us a favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It's an honor to have you guys here, but I want to tap right into these questions. You guys posted a video not too long ago. You gave some great financial tips, and we thought about, man, we can take this and spin it around with mobile home investing, because I know a lot of people have these questions going through their head, especially when they're just starting their business. So I took some time, I wrote out some of these questions. I wrote this one down, man. You said, spend less than you make. So how does this apply to someone just starting a brand new mobile home business?
Wow, that's a great question. I think that principle, well, for one, it applies to when you're trying to, get out of your debt, for one, but you could also apply that to anything, right? Because you don't want to live beyond your means. You don't want to be over leveraged, right? So that is something that you can implement into your business. If you're, doing mobile home investing, you don't want to get too far in over your head. You want to make sure that everything has a good ROI, right? That's one thing. You don't want to be paying out more than you're getting in. You don't want to be spending more when you're managing your money. You don't want to be spending more than you're bringing in. So that's definitely something that, I think is key to accomplishing anything, if be that business or be that, getting to any of your financial goals.
Absolutely. And you guys, if you guys have questions for them or questions for us about just, what does it take to fund this business? What does it take to get started investing when you're just getting started with, maybe you're just used to getting into your 9-to-5 job, a simple paycheck. How do we even get started? Please drop your questions below. We want to be able to answer and get a little deeper. But I love that. It's like, you don't want to be over leveraged. You don't want to put yourself in a bad situation where now you're overspent. Now you're stressed out. You have to make the deal work, or
right.
You're going to be, not paying your bills. So we definitely love that advice of, hey, spend less than you make. Let's make sure that we can have that security and we're not overstretched financially.
Yeah, and Samara, I think that's the one of the easier steps to it is just to simply manage your own money, and that's something you can implement immediately. Okay, so let me make sure I'm not overspending. So that's really foundational to paying off your debt and also to business. Don't want to overspend.
And it's so easy, especially if you don't have any type of financial discipline. Was this something that came easy for you guys, especially, just saying spending less than you make? That's easy to say, but it's hard to do when you don't have that discipline. Like, did you guys go to school for this? You get a degree in finance? Like, what was the path to learn this information along the way?
Yeah, I would say that we come from the school of hard knocks, you
Right.
know, and so we found ourselves in a difficult situation. And that is what really jump started or kick started our financial journey, you know. So our journey goes some years back, you know. We were married in 2007, and for many years, you know, I wasn't involved in the finances at all. And Marcus, he was doing, you know, he was trying.
I see good.
But we both entered our marriage with debt, and we continued to go deeper and deeper into it until we hit our financial rock bottom. And that is the place where we had more month than we had money. And so it was being in this crisis that really let us know that we need to do things differently. And so through hitting a financial rock bottom, we implemented several strategies to, you know, turn our situation around. And as you shared, you know, it took 2.5 years for us to pay off the debt, and then we went right into real estate investing, and now we're looking at jumping into the mobile home game as well. You know, so for us, it took being in a hard place to really for this, you know, the alarm to sound
Right.
that we needed to do something different.
And I gotta touch on that. I'm so happy that you guys are vulnerable. I love when you people are transparent. You talk about the crisis, and we talk about 2.5 years. 2.5 years is a long time for anyone getting involved in mobile home investing. For anyone getting involved in real estate investing, we all know that it takes time, especially that first 2 years. So talking about 2.5 years that it took you guys to pay off debt, and you're in a crisis. How did that test your relationship, and then how did you guys make it out of that as a team?
That's a good question. It took, Shyra likes to say once. So we have some steps that we've kind of curated, right? The first step is to take financial and personal inventory, right? And that deals with the mindset. So that's when you address any of your limiting beliefs, just the things we were raised with, right? Like, if you've never seen wealth, sometimes you don't even know if that's a thing that you could shoot for, right? So you have to address those things. And then second, you go into what is it?
You look at your finances.
Yeah, you pull back your finances,
right? And that's what we did,
yeah,
because we didn't know we knew what much coming in, but
right,
at the time. But it's taking a look at what's coming in and what's going out,
right.
And when we did that, as I shared, we did have more month than we had money. And so we had to, it was a very tough time for us.
Yeah.
But I think through the journey and through the course of it all, it made us stronger because, I sat on the sidelines, for many years, when it came to the finances of our marriage. But the reality of it is that we're stronger together. Right. We're better together. And so we were able to access that better part of us. We were both involved in the finance. So, we each play our role. He has a role. I have a role. When it comes to we're looking into mobile home and investing, Marcus is really good with the phone calls. Like he's good at things that he's good at, and I'm good at the things that I'm good at. And so we work, together. And so, it starts with you. So it starts with you, as Marcus was saying, taking that personal inventory, looking inside yourself and say, how did I come to accept this situation that I'm in? You know what I'm saying? And then it's also looking at your budget, and then taking steps and implementing different strategies to get to a better place, a better position. And then, for us, it was knocking out that debt. And then now we're in wealth building phase, and so we can look at our income, and now we have a surplus, so that's your income, your bills, subtracting the two, what's left over. Some people take the money, they go spend it, they do whatever, but we like to plant our seed, so whether that's vesting, in the stock market or in real estate. We have, a couple of rental properties, and now we're looking into, mobile homes. So it's about, that financial literacy piece. And just like many professions, whether you're a teacher or you're a doctor, you have these continuing education units that you need to get because you need to continuously be growing. When it comes to financial literacy, it is a lifelong pursuit. Just like a relationship, it's a lifelong pursuit, So I think that through the journey, we've we've grown a lot, you know, as a couple, and we've gotten that much more better.
Yeah, and I think
Wow.
I think you said something one time on one of the conversations that we've all had. It's about making consistent progress. I think as long as you're doing something, you know, that's leading you towards your goal, you hit a phase that we like to call the maintenance phase. And I think it's important when you're in that phase to just be consistent. You know, you might be in between results, right? But you just have to stay consistent. So I think that was important for us too. And that's important for anyone who's seeking to do anything in the business realm too.
Right.
Man, one of the things that caught my ear and attention, you already know I'm all about the self-reflection. I love what you guys say. You got to reflect. You got to look and see, you know, how can you become better? Because whenever we're facing any type of crisis, it's so easy to point the finger at someone else, including your spouse. You remember those days when we lost that 30 grand? It's so easy to do that, but it's about really taking time out to really self-reflect and say, how can I become more? How can I become better? What skill sets do I need to improve? How can I lead me before expecting, you know, my wife or, you know, your example, the husband to change?
Yeah, and even just looking at the goal, like, let's see where we're at. Let's look at the truth. Here's the truth. It may not be pretty. It may not be what we want to see, but we have to face the truth in order to overcome and get to the goal. And I love that you guys came together and really found those roles that work for you guys, and know your strengths and play your parts. Because I think, you know, especially, you know, being married, you kind of sometimes it's easy to step on each other's toes. I could do that better. I could do that better. But really understanding, like, no, I'm gonna let you run with that because I trust you and I know that that's your strength, and I can take this over here. You get so much further by playing your parts than trying to compete with each other. And I know we did that for a while in our teamwork and trying to build a business, but once we found those roles, it was a game changer. So I love that.
And we'll get into a couple of the comments here. Let's see who we got hanging on with us. And they're open book, guys. This is your chance to ask them any question you guys have. Brandon Boyd, man, this is one of our favorite accelerator students. Always on time. Kings and queens unite.
My brother.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. We love you, man. Appreciate you joining. Who else we got in here? Jake Hines, what's up? Watching from Orlando. This is really cool right here. You all are all prime examples of the 10X rule.
Gotta reach higher. Yes. Gotta reach higher. Gotta shoot the stars for sure.
Absolutely. I love the transparency. Thank you. We'll try to get into one or two comments. Transparency, respect the transparency too. It's amazing. And here's a question we got for you. I'm learning a lot from this, and we'll join the program, God willing, by August. This is a step to financial freedom. What do you recommend as far as me being involved, because I am a truck driver? So guys, Jesse's trying to become financially free, but he's on the road. Being a truck driver, he spends a lot of time on the road. What advice would you guys give him to start off?
On the truck. I'll let Marcus talk to this, because I feel like we just did like a 2-part podcast with someone that really has his own truck driving business. Yeah.
So Jesse, that's a great question. For one, it sounds like the great thing is you already know what your goal is, right? And so now you're taking steps by joining the academy. You're taking steps to meet that goal. You want to be financially free. So I think you're on the right track as far as seeing, okay, what can I do? You're on the road. And this is something that you can do passively, you know. So in your spare time, what are you doing? As Shyra was speaking, I did a interview with a friend of mine who recently got into the trucking business, where he owns the truck, and he's using that to create passive income for himself. Mm-hmm. So it's just about, you know, being consistent and trying different things. And it sounds like you're doing that, man. So just keep it up, keep grinding. You know, that's the best thing I can say.
Right. And something very practical and very tangible. A lot of people will use the money from their 9-to-5 jobs to build wealth. And so that may involve you looking at your finances and using that surplus. So the surplus is what remains after you've taken care of your bills. And you use that surplus and you invest it. So whether that's you purchasing a course, or whether that's you opening up a Roth IRA or an investment account or whatever it is, you know, but, you know, use that surplus to start building wealth for yourself. So use it as a tool.
I love it. I love it. Own the truck, man. Yeah. Ownership, and just getting in the mindset of, okay, yes, I'm here in this moment. I'm driving the truck, but you said there's still most likely a surplus of money that you have to invest in your future and think ownership. And I love that, it is about diversifying. When you're first getting started, we say, hey, do something until you see success, whether that's mobile home investing, really take imperfect action, learn, gain the knowledge, and then just take action, man. And each step is going to teach you something, a new lesson. And it's just about getting over that fear and not letting your time away stop you and leveraging other people, other resources. And that's why we built this community, so that people just like you can get started.
Yeah, the journey is really cool because you can, grow, and you can make a lot of money along the journey, but it's really cool to learn about you. You learn a lot about yourself throughout the process, the growing process within the journey. So let's get back into number 2. We'll get back into some of these comments. Keep the questions coming. We're going to get to as many as we can. The second thing you said, let your money work for you. Invest in income producing assets. I think this is very important. Samara and I, we took this route, starting out with mobile home investing. We focused very, very hard on producing passive income with cash flow with our mobile home unit. So I want to know from you guys, what's the importance of passive income? And for someone starting out that doesn't have a lot of money, should they be focused on generating revenue in their business, or trying to just get that passive income first?
That's a great question, Jay. Shyra.
Yeah, sure. One of the things that you said, should they be trying to get that passive income first? And I think that it depends on what the goal is, because like when you're investing in the market, they give you 2 options, depending on what you're investing in. And one of the options is, do you want to receive the dividends? So do you want to receive a payout, whether it's quarterly or whatever, however it goes, or do you want to take that money and reinvest it? So you have the option. So it depends on what your goal is. For our investments, we still work at 9 to 5 right now, and the passive income that we receive, we don't live off of it. We reinvest it into our business. So it really depends on what you want to do, but passive income is key, because eventually you're going to need it.
Right.
Because how else will you retire? If you don't have streams of passive income, you are going to work until you no longer can work. Right. And so passive income and creating those streams of passive income is really critical to being able to reach a level of financial independence where work becomes an option. So you want to always have that, in the back of your mind, and whether or not you receive the passive, how you decide to use a passive income is up to you, but you have a long-term goal in mind.
And Jay, like, it's funny you say that, because shameless plug. We may sell these.
One of those in the law.
Yeah, we may sell these down the line, right? But this is something that Shyra kind of said in passing. Assets over income. Now, the thought process behind that is, there's a lot of people that earn big money, right? 6-figure plus a year. But the reason why I say invest it into income producing assets is because it's simple. Your money being held in a sock drawer or in the bank won't even keep up with inflation. So you have to invest just to be ahead of the inflation, right? So your money is worth less year after year. So it's best to put that somewhere that is continuously generating money. And then eventually you want it to get into a passive income stream. So that's the goal. And that's the thought process behind that.
I'm so excited that you said that, because I was raised that, any money coming in, you save and save and save and save. And what you're saying, you're actually shooting yourself in the foot. You're actually losing money year over year, just keeping it in the bank or keeping it in a sock drawer.
Right. Absolutely. And that's something that we had to learn too. It's like, saving is good. I was taught the same thing, Jay. It's like, save your money. And while that's good, it's losing for you. So it's important to take that income, that great income that you're making, and invest it. Now, an asset doesn't necessarily mean just, putting it into some type of stock or index fund. You can invest in courses, you can invest in businesses. And so you just want to put it in something that potentially will earn you money or earn money while you are asleep. essentially.
Right. And it's important to have reserves. So you're going to need to have some cash reserves, especially now in the middle of a pandemic where there's so much volatility in the job market or whatever. So you want to have your reserves, but thinking long term, there is no way that you're going to save, $1 million. For many people, it is a mathematical impossibility, where the market, on average, your money doubles every 7 years. So you want to make sure that you are investing in the market, investing in real estate, investing, get your money out there working.
Yeah.
If it's sitting, it's not, don't let it sit.
Your money should be working. Your money should be working harder than you.
Exactly. Yeah.
The bread analogy.
Well, I wouldn't know what that is, but I'm so glad that you said that, because it was for a long time that we took so much pride, and even if it was just $5,000 to $10,000, whatever it was in that bank account, it's like you don't want to lose it. It's that you hit this certain mark, and it's like even if you're investing in yourself, investing in your future, it's hard to see that number go down. But it's all about that long-term vision. What am I putting this money towards to grow it? And so, getting over that ego of I have to have this amount of money in my bank account. Yes, have reserve. Make sure that you are safe and comfortable with the amount of money that you have for emergencies. But if it's just sitting there just because it makes you feel good, at the end of the day, you're not doing yourself any justice, because you have to look at the long-term picture.
Yeah, they say it's like a loaf of bread is what I heard in the past. One of my mentors told me like money is like a loaf of bread. If it's just sitting there, it's just, sitting, in front of you for a month, for 2 months, for 3 months, it's just going to become rotten. There's not going to be any type of nutritional value in it. It's kind of like money. If it's just sitting there, you're actually losing money. You're shooting yourself in the foot. So you got to keep it moving. Just like the bread, you got to keep it moving. You got to eat that thing. So
gotta move the money. Gotta move the money.
Yeah. And then we'll wrap it into number 3, man. You said save for a rainy day to cover emergencies and expenses. For someone starting out, just starting a business, what if they are short on money? What would you recommend? How much is that amount that you need to have set aside for a rainy day?
For a business, I think it depends on what the business is. So I think that the number will vary depending on the situation. And then what were you going to?
Shyra, I think a lot of times, I think we've been asked this before, and a lot of times it's whatever makes you feel comfortable.
But not too comfortable.
Yeah. Whatever makes you feel comfortable if an emergency were to arise, I guess. And like you said, Jay, some people may not, like, man, I can't just stack right now. I think it goes back to using your ingenuity and your creativity to earn enough that makes you feel comfortable. I mean, that's one thing that we really, really are heavy on is like side hustle. So if I really want to get in the mobile home business and I need X amount of dollars to do that, then you should have a season where you're hustling up that money so that you can do that. If you have a goal of, man, I need $500 nest egg because, just in case for an emergency, then you really need to have a season where you're hustling to get that, I don't want to go into exactly the many ways you can do that, but you just have to be creative and you have to, your mindset has to be of such to where it's possible.
Right. And I think that it's really important that you don't put your goal or your dream on hold. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't have enough money. No. You could be doing something. You know what I'm saying? So don't put your dream or your goal on hold. Make sure that you're always moving towards it. So don't say, I don't have enough money to get started. You got something, we got to start it. You have to have a starting point, but continue to work and build towards that goal.
I love it. And it's like you said, Marcus, it's about being creative and thinking outside the box. Yeah, you may not have enough money to do it this way, but there's other ways to do it. And it's just about being open to those opportunities. And like you said, not putting your dreams on hold because maybe you don't have what somebody else has to get started, but there's plenty of ways to use your mind, use your service, use your hands to be able to create money out of no money. And so it's about just having that mindset of being a creator and not being dependent on, and looking for an obstacle just not to start.
For sure. And I think it all goes into mindset, like you said, Marcus. And, from time to time, we tell ourselves these stories. I don't have money. I'm not good enough. I don't have the time. And you say it so many times, you start to believe it. And then the universe gives you exactly what you spoke into existence because that's what you believe. I think you should be really stating that, hey, right now, the challenge for me is getting more money. So what I need to do is, again, increase my skill sets. If I don't have money, I should have a little bit of time. I've got at least 1 or 2 hours a week. I could put my head in a book. There's so much free information out there on YouTube, on Google. I need to put my butt to work to get this knowledge so I can go ahead and apply it and then reach that ascension level. So I appreciate you guys sharing. I'll get into a couple more questions in here. Let's see what we got here. I'll just, man, there's so much coming in. I appreciate y'all for joining.
Okay.
Let's see. LaShawn coming in from Huntsville, Alabama. I love it. Thanks for this live. Wonderful to feel this conversation. Absolutely. Let's see. I like this. Thanks for the advice. We'll be using the money from my job to get started. And thank you. Oh man, it's amazing.
I love it.
I'm retired, single man. I'm doing well financially, but I'm always looking to better myself. I'm also bored and need a challenge. How difficult is this to start?
Well, it's as difficult as you want to make it, right? I mean, this is not rocket science. This is a very simple process. It's really about getting out there and serving people. And so, you know, as long as you have a heart to do that, you have the time. It looks like you said you're bored. So you have plenty of time to get out there and just first things first, get the knowledge, learn how you can really serve them. It's like Jay said, get a skill, build this skill, and then get out there and take some action and just serve. And honestly, once you have that mindset, it's so easy to find people that need help.
Absolutely. You guys mentioned multiple streams of income, creating 7 streams of income. Tamika says, absolutely, I love it. Passive is super important, lowering taxes as well. How well does this lower taxes?
Well, I guess I'll take that one.
You're the CPA.
You know, it all really depends on, like the taxes is a big thing, right? Like it depends on what other businesses, what other streams of income that you have. Passive income is taxed at a lower rate, so we love that. But it's all in the big scheme of things. Like how much passive income do you have versus earned income? So that's a really complex question. We're not going to go into the nitty gritty, but just know that having those streams of passive income is great. Even rental units are great because you can deduct so many expenses from them. It can lower your tax bracket. Definitely, I agree with you. Passive income is really important.
And then we'll get into a few more before the next question. Work becomes an option. That is good. That's gold right there. I love that. Assets over income. Yes, I love it. I will share this to my friends because they look at me weird when I mention passive and residual income. Don't they all? I learned a little from selling life insurance. I'm glad this program isn't as expensive as others. And then we'll get into a couple more. What's going on, Tiffany? And Brandon, drip dividend reinvest program, dropping financial gems on the mobile home channel. Love it. Absolutely. We'll come back to the comments in just a second. Number 4, you guys mentioned pay off your debt to strengthen your financial foundation. So in your opinion, I got to know, what do you guys consider good debt and bad debt? Because when we started our mobile home investing business, we actually leveraged some of the 0% interest credit cards that we had just being mailed to us. And a lot of people, they look at that as just a negative, but we feel like that's leverage. But what's your opinion on that?
Man, we love this topic, Jay.
We were just talking about it.
I know Shyra, she ready to go in on this one.
I'll let you start.
You know what, Jay, I love it, man. I love one thing we've learned. Shyra and I, Black, married, and debt free, right? So when we paid off our debts, we looked at each other and we was like, this is what we are. We're Black, we're married, and we're debt free. Now, when people hear that name, they immediately assume you guys are team no debt, no credit cards, none of the, it's all, you cash everything. Well, as we evolve, we are learning that debt freedom for us was foundational. It just got us to level 1. Mm-hmm. But to create wealth, leverage and credit could and may be strategies that you use to create wealth. Debt freedom is just a stepping stone, the cornerstone, as Shyra likes to say, to building wealth. And we really see that now. And, we still have conversations with people that are a little bit more rigid and like, no cash is everything. If I'm not paying cash, I can't. Well, that might not work for everybody. And it definitely doesn't necessarily work for us.
Yeah, because the thing that we both learned, after we paid off 6 figures worth of debt is that the very next day we had to get into our cars and drive to work and our life didn't change. You know, we continued to be kind of like in the rat race, you know, just as everyone else was. So there's different levels to building wealth, and for a lot of people, debt freedom is a part of that.
Right.
When you pay off your debt, you know, for us, it opened up a ton of options.
Right.
And so we immediately went, you know, into real estate. So good debt, bad debt, I don't like to label it. It's debt, you know. And I look at our debt as, you know, we have two rental properties and we have debt on our business,
Right.
you know, but we don't carry, you know, personal credit cards or anything like that personally. But I think that our society does a lot of debt shaming, and we need to stop that. And I think that there are ways to do things responsibly and strategically.
Right.
And if you don't plan to go to take on debt responsibly and strategically, then you probably shouldn't be taking it on, you know? So it depends on, you know, the individual situation and the goal. And then, you know, just make sure that you're using wisdom and that you're just not racking it up just to rack on something.
Love it. Oh my gosh. So many people need to hear that, because like you said, there's so much shame when it comes to debt just because of the stigma. And it really depends on what you're getting in debt for. What is this? Are you leveraging it to build assets and to create income? Or are you buying shoes and stuff that really just depreciates and has no value, resale value in the future? So, and even if you're getting into debt for, you know, education that's going to, you know, investing in yourself, that's going to turn into more money in the future. So it's really just depends on what the debt is for, and not to be afraid of the debt, but to understand how to use it responsibly is the key.
Man, that is so huge. So many young people need to hear that. Unfortunately, there's so many of us that are just given just bad information just because some people just weren't properly educated. Like my family literally taught me, you go out and you use debt to go get cars and things like that. And then the strategy for us was to go file bankruptcy. Like I have multiple family members that use that strategy constantly, and that's like passed down. Like, this is horrible. So I'm so happy you guys shared that and opened in people's minds, because there's a lot of people on here that have this basic information, but there's a whole lot more other people that don't. So I appreciate you guys just being vulnerable and transparent.
I love it. Yeah. And if you think that, you know, some of the biggest and best companies and some of the richest people are not leveraging debt, like, you're just not thinking like big enough.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, we love to use cash. Cash is great, but if you can grow and scale so much faster by leveraging debt in a smart way, you know, once you run the numbers, it makes sense.
Yeah, and we'll get into a couple more comments here. We got one more question for you guys. Let's see what else. We got a ton of them coming in. If you guys are getting value from this video, go ahead and hit that like button, drop some comments in here. Let's see what we got going on. Save your money until you have enough to invest. Jason says, banks only give about 0.8%, which is what they pay us to use our money to earn. The bank 13 or more from our money. We get it in doubt borrowing what don't exist. Chop that up a little bit.
The bank gives you pennies, literally skimpy pennies, and they take your money and they make a whole bunch of money on it. So it's like, how do we get in the mindset of lending and being more like a bank and investing like a bank? Because just putting your money in the bank isn't going to cut it. Not nowadays.
Exactly. Sylvia says, investing in mobile homes. I'm watching Jay and Samira's lots. What advice to humble beginnings with this dream? We both have servant hearts.
Thanks.
That's exactly it. You know, have the ability to just have a serving heart. Get out there, not be afraid to learn, and do not become a victim of paralysis analysis. Take what you're learning and actually apply it. Once you start applying what you learn, that's when you're going to get more and more results. And that's when you're going to get to that ascension level. But if you are in it just to make money and not to serve people or have some type of why that's bigger than you, the money just becomes another thing. It's just, you kind of become numb to it. You've got to have something that is pulling you forward, and it's got to be stronger than money at the end of the day.
Yeah, I would add on to that is really understand your why, because that's what's going to pull you through all of this. Really understand, why do you want to get into this? What are you trying to accomplish? Let's set some goals, and then let's learn and take action and learn and take action. And really, you're learning mostly from taking the action. The learning is good, reading, taking everything, but once you have a solid blueprint, it's just all about getting out there, making mistakes, learning as you go, and leveraging people that can support you and push you along the way. So don't be afraid to get out there. Make sure that you have something to follow, some support somewhere where when things get tough, you don't know how to do something or you make a mistake, you have somebody to kind of like pull you up a little bit because it's inevitable. But the main thing is take action, learn.
I love that, babe. Appreciate that. You two guys together, priceless. Follow you both. Appreciate you, Keith. Let's see here. Choose the right business structure, become LLC, and marry it as a S corp with IRS. That's how you reduce your tax liability.
All right, give us some gems there. Give us some real good gems there.
Let's see here. I'm approaching 65 in 2 months and put off and made excuses why I didn't pursue my dreams. Young people, don't put your dreams on hold. Go after them.
Love it.
Ooh,
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Rhonda, because you know what? At the end of the day, it is about getting out there and following your dreams and taking action. So I love that.
And it's never too late. Don't even believe that story, y'all. It's too late for me to get started. That is a lie. We know a lot of people. We have students that have come in that are 65 years old and out there killing it, getting a couple deals done in just 1 week of joining just our program. And I'm telling you, there's a lot more people out there. So don't believe the lie. You're telling yourself you can still get out here and get these deals. Last one, Ty. Just joined TCA. What's going on, Ty? Absolutely. Make sure you introduce yourself in the community. The family will welcome you in. Let's get to this last one here. You stated, keep your financial priorities straight. It's okay to say no. And we say this so much to our accelerator students on the call. Like some of the deals out there, some of the best ones are the ones that you pass up. But what do you guys mean by this? Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the classic age-old keeping up with the Joneses, right? And that's a lot of times what we want to do. We want to compare. Shyra has me reading this book, the Art of Possibility, and I'm glad she told me to check that one out because it really speaks to how we compare, and that is a dangerous game. When you see what others have, what others are doing, it serves you no purpose to really compare your situation to someone else's situation. So that's kind of what I meant in that statement there. I heard an analogy one time. It's about running your race, right? So when you have people who are doing the 400 meter, right, once around the track, it's important not to get caught, or anything long distance. It's important not to get caught up in what others are doing, because if you see somebody jetting out ahead of you and you trying to catch them, you're not running your race. You got to find your groove. And that's how you finish successful in the end. So that we just really wanted to remind ourselves and remind others of that. It's like you can't be looking at what others are doing and trying to keep up.
I love it. It's okay to say no if it's not for the right purpose. Say no to the things that you're doing for other people and say more yes to the things that you're doing for yourself.
Yeah, and when you're so focused and caught up on other people, you're bringing in nothing but doubt, and that brings like delay because you're depressed, because you're feeling overwhelmed, and then you stop taking action. I just created a Facebook post kind of talking about this subject, and I talked about, one of my mentors told me, your journey is kind of like a seed. Like when a seed is planted in the ground, the seed isn't looking around and say, well, that seed was planted, that seed is growing at this pace, and this one's growing at this pace. What's going on with me? The seed just grows. It allows nature to do what it does. And I think that goes to say, like, you have to trust the process. Your journey is your unique journey. You have to embrace that. That is yours. And anything you want takes time. Everything you want is going to come with trials, tribulations. If it was easy, everyone could do it. So I appreciate you guys.
For sure.
No, love it, love it, love it. Thank you guys so much for sharing all the information with everyone. So many people are commenting right now. They got a ton of value out of it, and they love the transparency. It's a journey, y'all. It is not just overnight success. It's a process. You got to really be vulnerable with yourself, tell the truth, look at where you're at, and then set some goals and some milestones to hit along the journey. So we love it.
You also got to have great people like this that you can call your friends. We keep friends like this in our circle because what we do is add fuel to each other's fire. We don't hate on each other. We figure out, like, how can I serve you? How can I bring more value your way? Because when you go out there and scoop up gems, I know you're going to bring them to us, and we're going to do the same to our other friends. So we appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy schedule to come and share your wisdom with our family. For anyone interested in following you guys, getting more information, like how can they become part of your world?
Man, I first I want to just say thank you, Jay and Samara. Man, you guys don't know how much we admire you all from afar, and always checking out what you guys are doing. So we are glad that we met you guys, and thank you for having us on. For anyone who wants to connect with me and Shyra, you could just check us out on all social media at Black Married and Debt Free. Also on YouTube, Black Married and Debt Free. And then me and Shyra, I think it was about little over a year ago, we created a masterclass that is entitled Get Out of Debt and Start Building Wealth, where we really do a deep dive into our strategies and practices that we use to get out of debt. And, we talk about some things that we're doing now to build wealth, one of which is being a part of the academy. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be involved with us, go ahead and check that out. Or if you just want to, shoot us a message, check us out anywhere on social media.
Love it, love it. And we'll leave a link below this video to their YouTube channel. They have a ton of trainings on there, guys. Just giving you guys a ton of gems on just, like you said, how to get out of debt, how to bring in multiple streams of income, how to invest the right way and become a savvy investor. And that's what we're all about.
Yeah. If you guys are interested in becoming a part of our family, a TCA member, all you got to do is hit the link below this video. We are so appreciative of you guys. You guys dropped some serious gems. If you guys got value, of course, hit that like button. But I want to know, what's your one takeaway from this video? Drop it below. Drop it in the comments.
Yeah, just leave us a comment, guys. We want to hear what your takeaway was. And we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And have a great rest of your evening, guys. Talk to you later.
Peace.
Bye.